Ain't nothing wrong with that. Happy Wednesday.
Woo! Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk on Babz Rawls-Ivy. I'm delighted this morning because I got the Leap Summer Program people on today. Hey, Jesse Delia, and hello, L. Eden. How are y'all?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing well. Thanks for having us on the show this morning.
I'm glad to have y'all. You know, Leap is tried and true. Y'all been around a long time.
Yeah, quite some time. I myself started out as a counselor when I first moved to Connecticut. So having the opportunities to be a part of LEAP in different capacities over the years, been pretty cool just to see the organization continue to grow over the years. And they're always busy. Got a lot going on.
So, hey, Jesse, unmute yourself so you can get in this conversation.
Morning,
You gotta
guys.
unmute yourself.
I think if I know the yours.
I hear you.
Babz.
Good morning.
I'll just talk to you.
All right. Yep.
Happy to be on this morning. Good to see you.
I'm glad. So what year are we in for LEAP? Oh, y'all are together.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why I'm hearing this. I can hear both of you. Okay. So how long has the summer program been going? Because this is one of the best summer youth serving programs in the city.
Yeah, are you asking like the inception, 1992?
Yeah, like how far?
Yeah.
How long ago?
Yeah, 1992. LEAP was founded by Henry Fernandez and some other folks locally.
And I've had Henry on a couple of times.
Yeah, Henry's a great guy. He's a great leader for the organization. And 1992 till now 2023, it just continued to grow, thriving. I remember when I was a counselor, we were kind of spread out, New London, Waterbury. But now that everything is kind of centralized in New Haven, including the reopening of the aquatics pool in 2014, it's just seen LEAP do some really wonderful things over the years. A lot of young folks learning how to swim. You have a group now that are down in DC, visiting, getting some experience traveling out of Connecticut. But yeah, all in all, since 1992.
Okay. All right. So what are the age ranges? Like, where do you start with? Like, if my kids are grown, so I'm out of the LEAP game. So what do parents do? Where do they start?
Yeah, so for children's program, there are a couple areas for children's program, 7 to 12. For that particular program, the groups are 7 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then the leaders in training would be your middle school and early high school students, 13 to 15. So these folks get a lot of training opportunities to become counselors in the future. So they do work closely, like the 15 and 14-year-olds closely with the younger kids. And then the 13-year-olds aspire to be those counselors as well. And then you have the 16 to about 24 age population where they're high school students and college students who really lead the multi-tier mentoring program to kind of, channel that down, big brother, big sister, essentially to, teach kids. Those in college can help aspire kids who want to, gravitate to college after high school. Just an awesome program. But when you look at youth development as a whole, probably 7, actually 5, because the swim program takes kids in who are 5. So from 5 to 24, that's the range. Just children, young adults, adolescents, just a wonderful, well-rounded youth development program.
So I would imagine now, since you've been around so long, that kids who came to the LEAP program and are counselors and went off to college are coming back and are having fond memories and maybe even working for LEAP because they've come through it as children.
Yes, in my experience, actually now we have a young person, for example, his name is Darkus Henry. He's also a teacher. I want to say a Lincoln Bassett, and apologize if I'm incorrect. However, Darkus was a LEAP kid. He was an LIT. He was a junior counselor. He became a senior counselor. Now he's a site coordinator. So he was here from us essentially, again, from that 7 to 24 range, going from, K through 12 off to college and coming back and being a leader. He just comes with so much experience, but there are others who are just like him, who were kids. I know there was one counselor, for instance, who went from being a counselor to now he's an aquatics team member. So just different opportunities for folks to get exposure and experience. And it's great to see a lot of young kids of color, especially, leading the program, leading the aquatics, but doing it not just because they receive services from LoveBabz, but they also understood the importance of giving back, and always uplifting the next group of leaders.
Hey, Javon Soto, nice to see you. All right, so Jesse and Javon, what's your roles at the camp? What are y'all up to?
I'm a site coordinator. I started in 2018 as a senior counselor. Rest through the years, then I became an assistant site coordinator, and I even have a little experience with the LITs. I was assistant coordinator for them for 2 years, and now a site coordinator for our children's program in Fairhaven South.
And so what does the site coordinator do?
I manage a group of about 100 children and about 20 staff. My staff are junior counselors and senior counselors. So that's that 16 to 24 age range. And then the children are 7 to 12. So I'm overseeing the operation, the day-to-day over at Fairhaven Middle School.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely fun watching the interactions between the young ones and the old ones, the young ones with the young ones, the old ones with the old ones. It's definitely an experience, but I'm really happy to be in my role.
So Jesse, what's your role?
Well, I started in September with LEAP as Director of Community Initiatives. So I'm really focused on community outreach and engagement and partnership building to support our programming, as well as family engagement. But for this year, because I have a background in outdoor and environmental education and program design, and because we have had a return to the tradition of like outdoor programming, including overnight camping, I've been part of the team that's been coordinating that work this summer. So
there's overnight camping?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
So I think, as a team, I'm excited that we're all on because I'm the newest member of the team and I can sort of speak to some of the planning we did for this summer, but Javon was super involved in a leadership role last summer with outdoor programming, and Albert has been involved for over many years. So I think we can kind of all share different perspectives on that. But I think there's been traditions, and then I think this year there hasn't been overnight camping, I believe, since 2019 for our children's programs. I know some of our older kids went last year. But this summer we went to Putnam State Memorial Park. We have a really close working relationship and partnership with the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. And they directed us to all these youth campsites, which are specifically sites that are meant to host large groups of young people. So we brought our kids this summer to Putnam, which is in Reading. So, but I think.
And so how long is outside camp? Like sleep camp, right? Like you spend the night.
Yeah, I mean, I think this summer we focused on day trips for the 7 and 8 year olds. So they went to Sleeping Giant, the 9 and 10 year olds, 11 and 12 year olds, and our LITs, that 13 to 15 age range, all did overnight trips with the exception of one 9 and 10 group that had to be rescheduled because the weather has been kind of wild.
And so when you see kids go to camps, is it a new experience for them? Like what percentage of kids have done overnight camp and done hiking and outside camping? Like, do you keep up with that kind of information?
Yeah, personally, I've been really involved. And when I went on my trip with the LITs, so the 13 to 15 age gap, I was just walking around and trying to survey how many of you have been camping before, how many of you have gone on a hike through anything like this. And majority of them, it was their first time ever sleeping outside the night. So it was really.
And what was it like for them? Like, Were they nervous? Were they afraid? Did they want their parents? Like, what happened?
We're definitely a little frustrated with the weather because we're in the middle of summer. It is hot. It's sleeping intense. The bugs was a big adjustment.
A lot of questions about bears.
Yeah, and wildlife.
I would have a lot of questions about bears too.
Yeah, I would say that number is high. When you do the end of the year surveys, probably 3/4 of the group, if not more, have never gone camping. Half of that group's never left New Haven, let alone go on any type of trip. So it's a great experience having kids who have not had the experience. But equally, it's been good to have kids who've had experience because they come with the energy that we can't bring. Like, oh, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna do s'mores. We gotta get sticks. Like that, to me, kind of settles the kids who haven't gone camping and calms some of the nerves a little bit. Because we're all gonna be afraid in a sense if it's our first experience. But sometimes it's great to have kids who have the experience, who've had the exposure, to kind of settle the other kids. And it's just, we want to continue doing this. It's nice that it's been brought back in effect because it's more than just camping. It's bonding, it's building healthy relationships, and even out hashing out small problems. You can always find a space to bring therapy to camping, and it's just fun. No matter how afraid or inexperienced you are, it's a whole new experience, and the exposure piece is just the best dynamic because no matter if they liked it or not, whether they had the greatest experience, more highs than lows, they're going to tell someone about it. And that right there may be the piece that encourages someone else to come, or maybe they'll go again.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
think
so
the younger kids too are they're young enough that they're just excited. Maybe there's nerves, but I feel like they just brought so much excitement. And another piece that I think is kind of cool is like we were able to ask the counselors a little bit more directly during our counselor training because we do a staff training that is outdoor program based, and then a counselor training as well with the 16 to 24-year-olds that we've been talking about. And that group, the half of the folks had been camping before, which is I feel like if you look back, probably it used to be higher for us. But I think, again, we're in this moment of like returning to this core programming around outdoor.
Well, you had a whole pandemic to, a 3-year pandemic that sort of curtailed a lot of activity. All right, so you have camping, you've got aquatics. What else goes on?
Well, as I mentioned, you got journeys. So journeys is, I think, another good topic. I'll speak briefly on the LITs. The leaders in training, just for the acronym LIT, they're away in Washington, D.C., traveling. So the staff is there with all the young folks. And again, not everyone's traveled out to state, but getting that experience again is vital. But they're having fun. They're at Six Flags. They're at a museum this morning before they come back, and going down to DC, you have all the free museums, which is also awesome. So at least for that group, and that was a double overnight trip. They left Monday, they're coming back tonight. So on top of going away for an overnight camping trip, they're also going out of town for multiple nights. And I know, Jesse can speak more about maybe the children's journeys. But that's what's going on. I wish I was in DC right now. Yeah, fun.
Yeah, LEAP, I know, is a great avenue for exposure. Through journeys, through things that we do called resources. So children are essentially given a resource, and twice a week for about an hour or two, they'll do something like chess or yoga or gardening or some type of athletics, whether that be tennis or basketball, just different things that you wouldn't necessarily pick up on your own, and being exposed to these activities.
So what time does the LEAP day start? Like, what time do children arrive and how long can they stay?
8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the summer. And
so
then
that's a long day. So you feed them, you hydrate them.
Yes.
Is there nap time? Like, what else is happening?
You may have to wake some people up, but I don't think we have like a dedicated nap time. I'm tired. I'd be tired too.
Now, are y'all still taking kids on city buses? Because I remember when my kids were little, I used to see the LEAP kids going on the city buses with the counselors, which I thought, I was talking about this in my first hour of my show. I said, that was a wonderful way for kids to get familiar with their own city by getting on the public transit and then not being afraid to do it. Because you're doing it with a group, but not being afraid after the fact to sort of do it. So do y'all still take kids on city buses, on city transit?
Of course. Yep, that is definitely I think even that is super important to their development. Time management, knowing that you have to be at a place across New Haven in the next half hour. You need to look up the bus schedule. You need to make sure everybody's ready together. We're using bathrooms before we go. We're getting our waters filled. It's using the bus is a project within itself, and they're exposed to that at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. I think it's awesome. So by the time they are 16 and ready to become a counselor, there's no issues with getting to work. There's no issues with you're late to work. You already did this when you were at LEAP as a kid. You should know how to do it now that you're a counselor and becoming an adult.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And big shout out to CT Transit because they do a great job. They're very generous each year in providing LEAP with bus passes year round.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, so big shout out to CT Transit.
So Jesse, talk to me about the relationships that you try to maintain and hold that have been with LEAP for a long time. Because I know LEAP is a long-standing, tried and true program, and so I don't think you have to kick doors down to explain what y'all do and how great you are. But talk a little bit about the relationships with people that you have in order to make these summer programs happen.
Yeah, for sure. So there are folks who are like staff that have been here for much longer than I have, who hold a lot of those kind of like the longstanding relationships. So I think my focus is really around building new partnerships to support our programming. So my focus has been obviously like outdoor programming. We just brought on a mental health, like a clinician. So like part of what my focus has also been reaching out to New Haven and Connecticut-based organizations to work on building resources around mental health to like support our young people and our staff.
So are you starting to see some mental health in children and young people come up? I mean, everybody is sort of trying to figure out how to address those kinds of things. And I would imagine a summer program would be in line to think about this.
Yeah, I think just generally, right, like young people and teens, like this is supporting folks around their mental and emotional health is huge. And I think we all are thinking about how that can be also part of outdoor programming. But I think just obviously like with the impacts of the pandemic and the sort of like myriad things that have happened in terms of like folks dealing with grief or loss, or just like not being able to be in school for multiple years, like there's like sort of these layers of impact. And I think we're wanting to build in additional support to make sure that young people and that also like our counselor staff and our adult staff are getting the support that they need to be able to show up and do their jobs and also like support these young people. So I think the other focus that I'm hoping to have like coming into this year is around supporting LGBTQ young people and also working with families to support their kiddos. So I think, yeah, there's a lot of, again, I've been really focused on outdoor programming, and I think DEEP has been an incredible partner. The Appalachian Mountain Club is an incredible partner on that programming in terms of training, support, and access to gear. Like we have like a bunch of gear. We had 25 sleeping bags and sleeping pads from them this summer. So there's just a lot of different ways that partner supports the programming that we do.
Now, do parents have to pay for LEAP programming? Do they pay? Is it a tuition-based program?
No, it's a free program.
Free?
Mm-hmm.
All free.
Yeah.
That's a lot of good stuff for free.
Yeah.
And also just keep in mind, LEAP too is if not the biggest youth what do you call them? Employer.
Mm-hmm.
Youth employer in New Haven, which is just means a lot. Every year we're looking for different opportunities to add more sites, which is going to bring more counselors and more opportunities to children. And I think I don't know if that's one thing that goes missed, but even the leaders in training now are part of that training program. They get paid hourly as well. So the youth development model here at LEAP is just is pretty unique. And I think for our partners, we support as well by attending citywide meetings and events, just to make sure that we're always supporting, the bigger picture, everyone in New Haven.
Yeah.
Now, do y'all run programs year round? Like, is it a year round piece? So kids can be involved in LEAP year round, not just summer.
All year.
Wow.
And so during the academic year component, that's like an after school program, 3 to 6 p.m. And during the summer, like you said, 8 to 4 with a half day on a Friday. But year round, and there's small pockets like we follow the school calendar. So kind of like the February break, the spring break, you have those things. But outside of those days off, LEAP is operating all year.
Wow.
Yeah, one thing we haven't maybe lifted up as much, and I think if you want to talk about curriculum as well, like we have a literacy focus in the summer and during the after school program during the school year. And I think
so. What do you mean by literacy program? Like, and when do you have time to do that? Because y'all are outside all the time. I don't know. Are y'all walking and reading? What are you doing?
So in the summertime, our curriculum takes place in the morning. Kids come in at 8 a.m. They'll have breakfast, do a morning meeting, all the site together, everyone in the gym, just screaming chants, having fun, playing games, getting out that morning energy. And then we go into the classrooms from 10 to 12. And then in the classrooms, the curriculum team does an amazing job putting together different books with activities for our kiddos to do. So they'll read, use different reading strategies, popcorn reading, read aloud, partner reading. Then after, their counselor will help facilitate a curriculum activity that has to do with the book they just read.
So do you get feedback from public school teachers who say, you know what, I'm so glad little JJ went to LEAP this summer because he got to maintain some of that learning that went on during the year? Like, do you hear anything like that? Because I would imagine this helps them retain some of that stuff that they had through the school year.
Yeah, I would say not only the education piece, but also the behavior piece. Some teachers will come up to us and be like, what are you doing with this child? How are they listening to you? Because in the classroom here at school, I cannot get it, which is pretty uplifting to hear from a certified educator, someone who went through their time to do this. And they're asking a 16-year-old, what are you doing with this child to get them to listen to you? So I think it's awesome.
We go outside. That's what we do.
Relationships. The mentoring is a core part of what we do.
I mean, do you feel like you're building good relationships? I mean, do you know these kids? Are you getting to know these kids? Because there's a lot of kids.
For sure. Yeah. Like I said, I've been here since 2018. Yesterday, I was leaving Fairhaven and I ran into someone who was a 9-year-old when I was first hired. And I was like, hey, buddy, you were in LEAP, right? He instantly dropped his bike, ran over to my car, gave me a hug. He was like, I can't believe I'm seeing you. I want to get a job there. I'm 14 now. How do I join? I was like, there's space for you. We have the LIT program that is for 13 through 15. Get that application in and I will make sure you are pushed through.
Okay. I like that. So tell me about each of you. Tell me about your experience and why you like LEAP so much and what has it brought to your life?
If I may, for me, I came from New York, so when you all talking about the city buses, that was just
how long have you been here, El?
I've been out here since I graduated from the University of New Haven, pretty much around 2000.
Okay.
Yes, I've been out here for a while. And I have 3 daughters, and each of them have come through LEAP. Excuse me. Whether it was like a LIT, a junior counselor, a senior counselor. My 19-year-old, she currently is employed here as a senior counselor at that level. So for me, how has it impacted my life? To give my time to come up here and not know anything about New Haven, and then learn so much about New Haven through LEAP. So I just seen how the LEAP avenue has impacted me, so much so to become senior management here, and then to see my kids interview and get into the programs, not just get in, but be a part of that process. And I've seen, you asked the question, like, do you see the growth or the appreciation, or how does it really impact the kids? My 19-year-old, when she was 13 in the program, she was so introverted. I mean, she wouldn't say nothing, and she would crack a smile or laugh just as a defense mechanism, or just make her feel comfortable. Now you can't get her to be quiet, to see her leading other people, to see her engaging in those conversations. And if it were not for Leap in that aspect with the social dynamic, right, the socializing and, being put in position with the resources that, Javon mentioned, my daughter probably would have still been an introvert into herself. Now she's so extroverted. I need her introverted just a little bit from time to time. But honestly, just for me, that's through my eyes, is just seeing how it benefited my kids. It just speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. And I don't know about your experience.
I can go
Jesse,
next.
Javon?
Yeah. Ever since I joined Leap, I felt that sense of.
And how long have you been with them?
2018.
Okay.
2018. Yep. I just feel that sense of community, and that like the people who are here belong here, and Leap gives you that freedom to do what you want, essentially. So like, as a site coordinator, I have the freedom to run my site how I see it, and I have a strong passion for the outdoors. So being able to take my kids from my site on these walks down by Longworth and looking at crabs and things like that, that gives me that lane that I can carve out for myself. And Leap does a great job at allowing the youth to carve out their own path.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's what I love most. Like I feel really passionate and excited about youth leadership in the broadest sense. So like, I think I really love getting to work with the counselors, because I think like young people that age have wisdom about the world that we can build together. And I think like as an adult, I feel like my job is to sort of like get out of the way and like be like shoulder to shoulder, like helping to carve that path, and like use whatever experience I have to like help hold that space, but to really just be here for like supporting that youth leadership and that vision. Because I think young people truly have like a wisdom and a vision that is, I don't know quite how to put words to it, but I think is, like a more vibrant, like liberated, healthy world. Like I think our younger generations are always the folks who can see that most clearly. And so I'm just like here for that, is like supporting that vision and making that a reality. And I think I love being around other educators. It's such a blessing. And like everyone who works here, like everyone's here to like support young people's flourishing and wellness, right? So it's just like the staff and the counselor staff are all really incredible, committed, passionate folks. And so it feels like a blessing to be in a community of people that care so much and are so good at doing like holding this level of work. It's really pretty incredible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, Jesse and Javon and Elle, that think it's very hard to sort of deal with young people, because young people right now have a lot of competing distractions and competing things, whether it's what's happening at their house or in their hood or at school or whatever. What do you want people who don't work with children on a regular basis, and maybe to those who work with children on a regular basis, to know? What do you want people to know about young people and children?
That's a cool question.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it just really, for me, I think they want to learn, they want to be treated like a human, because it's all human relationships, whether it's adult, youth, and adult. And they have a voice. I think that's the other piece too. I was working in middle school, Booker T. Washington, and that's what a lot of the kids want. They just want to be heard. They want a voice. They want you to nod your head and say, you know what, that was a great suggestion. Maybe not pertaining to this, but keep thinking that way. You have a mind, use it. And they do want adults to be positive, and they want to trust adults, but they want to also feel trusted as well. And then they also want, in my opinion, more opportunities to work together to build bonds, so if, for example, if they're playing basketball, then Mr. Eden just join in for a little bit, maybe not all the time because I love my knees, but once in a while, be a part of their world. We're always asking kids to do what we want them to do and be a part of the world as we see it, but they have their own vision.
Yes.
They have their own voice, and they have their own perspectives. They just need a few more, but kind of in a cool, clear, patient, calm way, because sometimes at home it's not calm. Sometimes at school it's not calm, and you're really not going to hear anyone, whether it's adult, youth, adult, if we're just loud. They just want to be able to just be heard. Most times, and have fun with adults.
Yeah, I would say something I want people to know about the youth is, like, me personally, I take the keep it real approach. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You keep it real with me. Let's build this trust. Where I'm not sugarcoating anything for you. You don't gotta lie to me. You're upset right now about what someone just told you in the class. Go ahead. Let's be upset together. Let's take this time to really talk about our emotions. And and also adults having humility towards children. Like, let's say I do mess up and I lose my patience, and I'm just like, everyone get in line right now. I don't know what you guys are doing in this hallway. Get in line. We're going downstairs. And then separating yourself from that moment of pressure and saying, okay, maybe I could have gone a different approach. And then sitting down that group and being, guys, I didn't like the way that I just handled that situation. That's on me.
Sorry.
The more that children see adults doing that, then they will follow suit and realize, okay, maybe I'm the one in this situation. Let me separate myself from my emotions and what just happened and really look at it from an outside perspective.
I think I can only echo what's been said, but I think offering the level of respect that both Albert and Javon have just talked about, that young people deserve our respect. And the importance of, for me, it's so important to believe and operate from a place of knowing that young people and adults, but are always capable of learning and transforming themselves, right? I think the worst thing we can do is box ourselves or other people in, even if sometimes it's a good thing, right? You're you have this expectation around academic performance, or maybe you start to, a kid who gets labeled as a bad kid at school, that that's not a belief to carry, that really can be really damaging. And that there's so much magic that can happen when you approach every young person, with that belief that they have good in them, that they have gifts to bring. And that our job is to help support the discovery of that, right? Or the support to help cultivate it, whether it's that kid is connected to it or not, to move that way when we're working with young people. That would be my wish, is that people would know that about young people and adults, to just believe in each other's magic, basically.
I like that. All right. So when does summer end? When does the summer piece end?
This Friday.
Yeah, Friday is.
Whoa! So is there a big celebration? What's happening? Is there a cookout? What's going on?
Yeah, we're having our citywide expo. 4 LEAP sites. We'll be going to 2 different locations, and there will be a representative from each LEAP site, 1 group per LEAP site, and they will just showcase what a piece of something that they've been working on this summer, whether that be curriculum, whether that be they're building a tent on the stage for everyone to see because they did that over camping. There's so many different great expo topics going on, and it's going to be a great thing to see on Friday.
Now, is the public invited, or is this just a LEAP kind of vibe?
I just realized I'm not sure. I know families are invited, but I actually don't know But if you want to come, Babz, we can.
I know I got to be related to
Yeah.
somebody.
we
I'm
can
related
work
to
that out.
somebody.
Yeah,
I'm coming.
and our history is those kind of just been like an internal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're definitely invited. Come
I
on
hope
down.
we might move in that direction, but I
Yeah.
think that'll be, future summers, maybe, or future after school components.
Yeah, but I like a big old summer-wide cookout. Bring
Mhm.
everyone down for support and family.
A big cookout. Put a jar out there, make people put some money in it. There you go. Well, I so appreciate talking to y'all this morning, and I'm so glad that LEAP is thriving. I know the pandemic was tough for everybody, and I'm starting to see organizations come from up underneath that pandemic rock. So it's good that that I know that LEAP is well and taking care of our kids. And it's nice to meet y'all, Jesse and Javon and Elle. It's good to see y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Likewise. Thanks for
Thank
having us.
you.
All right, enjoy this last week before y'all get into having kids come. Now, when do y'all start back up for the school year in September? Do you get some time off? You get some time off when you're not seeing kids?
Programming will start up late September, and we are, we have the LIT program, as folks have talked about, and we have 7 different school-based sites across New Haven. So registration is going to be open really soon for the after-school program. So if there are families out there who are listening, you have 7 to 15-year-olds that want to be in our program after school, that registration will be open really soon for the fall component.
Oh, that's good to know. All right. Well, listen, enjoy the rest of your summer. And thank you for all the good work that you do on behalf of the children in this city.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your
I'll
summer.
see you out here. I'll see you out here on these buses. Take good care.
Take care. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Babz.
All right. Take care. Harry Droz, we're out. I'll be back tomorrow, good people, and y'all behave yourselves and go enjoy this beautiful day because it's lovely out. And I'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. See y'all.